Hello, hello. Quick tune-up, quick tune-up. What's funny on this guitar, it's so messed up. This guitar's kind of messed because listen, this is the volume off completely. It's all tuned all the way down. So if you're a proper sausage and you were on my channel last night, you'll notice that I broke a string in the end on my Les Paul. So now we got the backup, which is, you might have seen me rock these a lot on the channel. These are the, let's see, Crate Electra clones, right? So these are Crate guitars at the end of the day. These things are so good. And the saving grace with me with these is that the internet gave the Crate Strats, which are fucking dog shit, terrible reviews, but people lump those reviews in with this, with the Crate Electra Strats. They're terrible. But these Les Pauls are amazing. So, since how sneaky I am, I put a terrible review, because they're done, they're defunct. I put a terrible review on the Les Paul because there was no review. So the only review was mine, which is like a really low rating, and so they kept the price down to like $70. And then I bought like 6 of them, and then I like deleted my review. Maybe my review's still there, but you know, you're not cheating, you're not trying. And because this is me, I've got a vintage pickup, vintage Gibson pickup in the bridge, which is why, like I mentioned, that it's actually microphonic. So I've got heavy gate on. Otherwise, let me turn the gate off. I'll show you what's up. Where is the gate to this? Yeah. Alright, I'm going to grab a wire that I know has a tiny amount of energy going through it. You know what I mean? Let's see if this works. Hello, 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 hello? You're going to be hearing me on this mic. Hold on. Now let's get that gate back on quickly. Isn't that great? Isn't technology amazing? So yeah, chat, did you hear me sing into my pickup just now? Literal microphonic. I'm just going to bring up chat on here because the chat on there is absolute dog shit. On my expensive streaming software, I get like 3 comments and then it pauses. My own phone is telling me that I'm not live. All right, boys, let's have a chat. Let's have a chat with the sausages. Come closer, closer, closer. Woo. Jim Schaefer, I thought the kid pulled a plug on you. Well, kind of did. It's like, you know, she was just in a diaper, so it's like, retreat. Dead End Collective. Mr. Bunch there, you went off and on. Yeah, it was, I thought I'd locked the door, and then my child ran in with wearing just diapers, because it's nighttime. David N036. What up? Hear you loud and clear. Oh, that's good. Oh, you heard it through the pickup? A&R Metal, appreciate that. Hey, how's it going, man? We're about to appreciate some metal today because we're going hardcore with the chugs. Major chuggage. Seymour Rumble. I left the chat after the black metal preset. I don't need that cancer infiltrating my blame. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Maybe, you know, like Mr. Bourns, where it's so dark and evil that germs can't get into his system. Maybe it did the opposite. Maybe it cured your cancer because it's so fucking filthy, you know? Journal of Archive, how's it going, man? So happy I finally get to catch one of these live. Yeah, earlier one today. Charles Wagner, no, nothing can stop the digital menace. Yeah, bro. I get it. Mr. Tubes, Mr. Old School is going with the VSEs. I have to keep up on this shit. And I have to see, because, you know, I can't just write everything off. I can't write everything off as soon as it comes out and go, nope. I do know what this cannot do, and I will never use it as even if it perfectly matches, because I'm going to do some tone profiles with these bitches over here. Even if it's perfectly sounds like a close mic profile, or even a far away profile, because you can do that. It's still not going to be better than the real thing. Like Gary Moore used to put chalk an X on the stage where a sweet spot was, where he'd hold a note and it would ring specifically in that area where it would be a fucking sweet spot. You can't get sweet spots with VST. So that's just one aspect that I won't use it. Plus the band dynamic, you know, there's going to be no bleed of the bass player going into my microphones, you know, with these types. So that type of shit. But I can't call myself the internet's neckbeard if I don't try this shit out, you know? It's excuses. Please forgive me. David, can you use external pedals with the TONEX? I don't know. Let me have a look at the back. This is you and me of discovering this together. All I know so far is how to change presets. So let's have a look. I presume there'd be a tuner on there, and there isn't one, so I'm pissed off about that. Yep, there's an extension, there's a 1/4 inch, and there's MIDI control. So with MIDI usually comes all that stuff. So I'm sure with that, there'll be as much as, you know, the usual suspects when it comes to expression pedals and wahs and, you know, hopefully for pedal switchers and that type of thing. So, because this actually, when I did start playing it, the thing that came out to me was I am going to... I do want to put a pickup, a pedal in front of it. So, speaking of mods, there's something I have to do. Can you see? This guitar, right, was the cleanest. Like, I collect these. I collect the Crate vintage, the Crate Electras. This was absolutely pristine. And I went to take a picture of it. I moved it, I dropped it, and I put a massive chip on it. Because these are beaters. But I'm so careful with guitars, I never do shit like that. So for me to drop this, thank God it was a cheap one, but still, it was the cleanest one I had, the shiniest, the most perfect, it was a complete case queen from, I think these were out in the 90s. So, I love these things. This one does need to have all the electronics redone on it though, because it's absolute, it's a fucking rat's nest in there. But what's happening is this chip is sharp, right? So because that's where my chugging hand, my forearm rests, it keeps on like snagging me and cutting me and bothering me. So we're about to do some Roadie magic. Now, since this is Florida, this tape has been in my garage. So all the glue is kind of sketchy and disgusting. But I'm just going to... This is electrical tape. Because I'm a man of comfort. So this tape has been sweltering in a 100-degree garage. So it's sticky on both sides because all of the glue kind of comes off and ruins my life. All right, so that's going to be a bit more comfortable for me because I am built for comfort. All right, back to chat. Let's see what's going on before we start tweaking. Charles Wagner, I refuse to believe digital is bad. It is not. You hear me through the pickup, but it's very low. Yeah, it kind of is. You have to boost the shit out of it. Chuck Wagner, you have no idea how long it took me to recreate the Master of Puppets guitar sound for the Chuck Metallica album. It's actually impossible. It's impossible to recreate. Metallica can't do it. I can't do it. The reason being is there's something that happens to the voice box because the tape is sped up. So did you know that on Master of Puppets? The album is sped up. Literally dropped. I believe it was recorded in D, the whole album in D standard. And then he says it's only on Master of Puppets the song, but I don't believe it because I hear that tone through the entire album. But at least on Master of Puppets the song, they sped it, they tuned low and they sped up the whole tape to make it tighter. With that, to recreate that, how the hell do you get, it's like Alvin the Chipmunks, where when the voice goes up, something happens to the tonality of the voice. So you cannot get that. You cannot get that guitar tone. It's so fucking, because you've got the bass guitar doing it as well. You know, the drums are all up, you know, the specific sound on them because the tape is fucking sped up. You cannot recreate that. That's where you're having such a fucking hard time with it. Even if you've got the right speakers, the right mic, the right this, that, you know, the right hand, you still can't do it. Which is why Metallica kind of never sounded that good live, you know, and they really don't. I don't think I've heard a single. I've heard hundreds of demos, hundreds of live recordings, even ones where they've obviously overdubbed, and it still does not sound like anything like the albums on anything they've ever done. You know, the closest they can come to is things like The Weight and things from Garage Days, the $5 EP, because that's a bit rough around the edges, rough and, you know, Marshall. That's doable. Maybe I should try that. The Weight is a banger. This is The Weight. I can't fucking... That's it. Something like that. But it's very low gain, so I need more gain to do that. But that's what we're here today. We're tweaking for crunch, for chug, for, you know, old school. So this will be a good preset once we tweaked it for recording. So what I like to do with recording is I'll do one that sounds good, me just playing it. So I like the tone on its own. Doesn't always work in a mix, but I make sure it's in there because that's my personality, that my actual tone. And then I go and listen to it with the drums, with the bass, and the other two tracks I'll do to the songs to make the song sound better. You know, usually it's lower gain, stuff like that. But I always want that initial, this is how the riff sounds good. I want that in there somewhere. So then what I can do is maybe I'll put this, maybe in another live stream, we can take this tone that we tweak and tweak and tweak to make for a good chug channel. And then I'll probably forget how to fucking save it because I'm new to this. And then I'll do I'll do a whole Vanilla Sausage song with it. And out of all the hundreds of probably hundreds presets that we went through, if you've been following over the past week, this is my favorite, and it's the first one. This UK 800, which is a JCM 800, which is based on this, and it's my favorite. So one and done. So for an opener, they did a really good job. I'm starting to stick to my guitar now because of this sticky, disgusting, crappy tape. Let's get out of here. You offend me. Sounds a bit shit now because you're hearing my with the mic, but I'll turn the mic off and we'll start tweaking. So any comments, because I only have headphones on. So if I have my big boy speakers, I got Kef and I got Paradigm, If I had those, I'd be able to really tweak it a little bit. So when I do finally finish it, I'm going to polish it with the big speakers, but I can't do that right now. All right, let's go through chat and then we'll start tweaking over here. Don't throw away your old phones, because I'm using an old iPhone 6 to use as a as a camera. All right, boys, my saucer jars. Do. Hold on. The Churn Up Archive. I've always found digital boring and lacking. Could never even place why, but even 13-year-old me knew it was shite. You're right. It is. It's the forums lied to all of us. They said mids, lowish gain, sensible, and then it just turned into the vanilla sausage that is so uninspiring. I mean, I don't think I've listened to a Testament album twice for the past 20 years. Well, you listen to it and it sounds, it's good impact, it's big, and I love the riffs, but you just can't fucking listen to it. I can't listen to New Testament, and Testament were my favorite band. They even re-recorded some of their old music because they weren't happy with the original recordings. I think it was of Legacy. It used to be called Legacy. And it was fucking terrible. It was so boring with the good, production, with the modern production. So it's not always like a slam dunk. I'm sure a lot of Thai gotta be a little bit more demure, All right, play some Danzig. Yeah, boy. It's actually a good tone for Danzig. One of my favorite videos is my Danzig one, even though it doesn't sound spot on. I think I get pretty close. And apparently I was right about the amp they used. And I was guessing as well. I said it on the video that I didn't know for certain, but I think it was the producer's obsession with AC/DC, so they ended up using AC/DC's own amp. Because initially John Christ wanted the usual molten high gain, you know what I mean? So you got to listen to producers. Because I remember seeing interviews of John Christ, the guitarist of Danzig, complaining about the tone on the first album, complaining about the tone on the second album. But sometimes these guitarists don't have a fucking clue when it comes to what sounds good on record versus what's in their hands, So, and I think he has come to the conclusion, it's like, yes, it was a classic guitar tone. David, can't go wrong with electrical or duct tape. I agree. A&R Metal, appreciate that. Recorded in D standard. I thought so. Charles Wagner. Yeah, I knew that. I found a workaround. No, you didn't. There's no way. I don't believe you. I love you, man, but got damn close. There you go. I'll get close. Seymour Rumble. Should I buy a B52 ATX 100 head and a Line 6 4x12? The price is probably pretty good, but I think you might be able to do better. The B52 is not bad, but it's a bit... I'd say no to that. Give me your budget and what sounds is your style, and I'll probably be able to point you to something that's a bit more better than that. Charles Wagner, and that chorus too. Yeah, there's chorusing. You have to account for the transformer saturation produced by the AXEFX EQ. Was that used on the guitars? I think that might have just been used on Kirk. I might be wrong though. Dead of the Collective. Chug is a good word for what you're going to do today, even though there are a zillion genty bands. Yeah, there's, I think gent was kind of refreshing when it came along because chug was getting a bit too, like, long in the tooth. We needed something new. So, you know, if it sounds genty, then it's slightly different to chug. So I get what you mean, but... Boop, boop, boo. Okay. Charles Wagner, the new order is great. Yeah, it's so good, dude. Churn of Archive. For me, the great antithesis of the boring forum sound is a valve state boosted with the big muff. Sounds great if you do it right. Yeah, I think I used that. What did I use that on? No, I was using something different to that. I used the big muff on the White Stripes, and I used, well, a big muff clone from from Day and Age pedals. Check out Day and Age pedals. So cheap, made in America. It's fucking crazy. And I used the valve state on Death and on Static X. Static X is pretty close. Death, my guitar kind of let me down on Death. Charles Wagner, my favorite album is The Crown. Crowned Unholy. Under the Whip is a good one. Vivian Hunter, I'm seeing Danzig in Boston next month. Dude, I saw Danzig singing with Misfits. He is back, man. His voice is sounding better than ever. They sounded fucking good. He was with Doyle and everything. I was like, shit, dude. So yeah, Danzig, sometimes it's hit and miss with him in his... Do you have crazy fat Danzig, or do you have, you know, Danzig? He still, I want you to do this, right? Take a shot every time you see a Danzig concert. Every time you see one of the high notes, right, where he goes, Ma! Take a shot if you see him hold up the mic for the crowd to do it, because he can't. Dirtfool, as someone who has one of these amps, I'd say the Master of Puppets tone mainly comes from multi-tracking. The individual tone has like no gain. Once you layer it, it comes live. Yeah, there is gain. They have high gain through the middle, and then they have lower gain left and right. And James Hetfield actually used Kirk Hammett's guitar to record the other side to make it sound like more like a band thing. So he didn't use his Explorer on all of the tracks. He'd use the Flying V of Kirk Hammett, because he used a Flying V from his old Electra. Speaking of Electra, his original, Hetfield's original guitar that he did Kill 'Em All and everything with was an Electra. So this Electra company, I think it was South Korea. Is it Korea? Where's this made? I think it's South Korean. So the people that did his kick-ass Electra did this, but via Crate stamped on it. So it's like a really good guitar company back in the day, especially when they were Japanese. They moved from Japan to... I'm fucking nerd. I just dawned on me. No, like... Shut up, nerd. We need more cool guys in rock and metal. Danzig looks like Sigourney Weaver on steroids. She's about a foot taller than him. That's from Suck It. Dirtfool. Big one on the greenbacks for Master of Puppets tone. Actually, no, it was 75s on Master of Puppets. He had a 300 watt cab. Did your wife buy that shirt for you? Hey! Hunter, listen, bitch. If you don't know, this is Angel Spit. Angel Spit are probably one of the best. They used to be when she was in it, before she left the group. Angel Spit is a underground, glitchy, sexy, cyber fucking terrorist group. So good. So it's like dance, just... What was it? There isn't another band like them, really. I guess Ministry-ish type of... But without the guitars. It's so heavy, dude. Angel Spit. I actually saw him live. I got a picture with her, and she is fucking hot. And I was about 300 pounds at the time, so I looked like a fucking sausage. Did your wife pay that shit? You bitch. I am cool. I'm a cool guy, alright? Avi. Oh, and I tried the TONEX software, and the riff samples sound so much beefier than when I play them with my own guitar. What could be the reason? I use high output SD blackouts. Should I use a comp pedal? If they're beefier, yeah. If you go high output, I have low output pickup, so it's going to sound like yours is boosted compared to mine. So yeah, that's the answer. High output, CMO double blackouts. Should I use a compression pedal? No, you're just going to add to the lack of peaks and troughs in the signal. So if anything, if you like my tone, I always have low output pickups, and usually the highest I go is 9K on the bridge. And I think blackouts are double that maybe. The Dead End Collective, Static X, really keep going back to Cannibal. It's insanely good. I don't think... I actually like the fact that they're... That guy that's playing Wayne with the mask and everything, I think he's really fucking good. I actually like... I like seeing the old crew, the old guitarist, and the drummer getting some gigs, you know, because they were a massive part of it. Say Fukada, especially Fukada, because he was a massive aspect of the electronic side of Static X, which, let's face it, is massive. Because the drums are actually, it's a drum machine for most of it, but then they recorded drums over it, so things like cymbals and stuff like that, a few rolls, they're real drums, but most of it is electronic drums. Fucking good industrial evil disco. The Chernov archive. This is still a way to get the MM pickups. Yeah, I keep on saying soon, but it will be this year. They will be. I'll sell the rest of them. They're in storage right now, so I can't have them up there. It'll be a pain in the ass for me to go get. They're going to be. I might, because I'm selling everything. I'm going to try and sell everything this year. So they'll definitely be. I might put them out for. Maybe like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday type of thing. I'll blow them out, maybe even much cheaper than usual, just to get rid of them before the end of the year. And I would get them if you're listening right now and you see my pickups coming up on sale. I'm not even shitting you. Get them. Rumi. Oh, and by chance, do you know anything about Kirk Hammett's Fernandez Superstrat? I saw him play it live at the Monsters of Rock. The warm yet cut and lead sound. I did look into it, and that Fernandez, you could buy other Fernandez at the time for $300. That specific one that he had was going for $1,500. So the cat's out of the bag. So I couldn't get one to see what was in it, and there's not a lot of information on it. I might have it written down somewhere, but yeah, that's the one he had on the. It's like a Strat, right? A Super Strat. That's the one he was poking at the camera on the $5 Garage EP, which is one of the best things they've ever did. Seymour Rumble just snagged. Oh, you snagged it. The Line 6 cab for $250. That's a good price. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Maybe just get my quad damage pedal, which isn't for sale, but it will be. See my pickups. My quad damage pedal would sound great in that setup. Ewan Hunter. Dude, it looks like Bowie from the side, and you just played the Ziggy riff. I wasn't making fun. Oh, right. I'm gonna throw my wife under the bus. She was wearing a Ziggy t-shirt. She fucking loves David Bowie. She went to see him live, and in West Palm Beach, or was it in Miami? And as soon as she got there, one of the lighting guys fell and died, so they cancelled the concert. But that isn't the story. She's wearing a Ziggy t-shirt, and we went into a restaurant, and the guy who was seating us said, "Oh, Ziggy Stardust." And she went, "No, it's David Bowie." She just had because she's terrible in any conversation she does see coming. She's like a antisocial penguin type of person. And then she realized what she said and just went. We talk about it about once a week. Every time I see David Bowie, I go, "Oh, the Ziggy Stardust." She's fucking dying. I'll never let her forget that. Dirtpool. Like, not gonna lie, I'm a young fella and do metal. You played kind of huge role for me. It's good to have knowledge about recreating things you like, but it's using that to your own effect. Thanks, man. That's it. I think I've learned enough. I did it personally. I loved the music that I was covering, but personally, I wanted to be a engineer. So if somebody, like in the Danzig album, where they wanted to recreate Angus and Malcolm's rhythm sound for Danzig 1, I'm that type of person that they could have brought in to say, "Hey, they use that, this, that, and whatever." So, but if there's a guitarist explaining what type of sound they want, I'm the type of guy that can say, "Okay, we need this, and write that." So I could have been a good. I think it's the big problem is though, is guitar's dead, and rock and metal is dead. So if the scene was as big as it was during the Limp Bizkit days, I'd be fucking laughing. I'd actually go full into that, that genre. That I think I'd be good. But right now, it's like, who the fuck's going to pay me? Everyone's doing it themselves, and they're all coming out with vanilla sausages. They all sound like each other. So it's not the best time to get into being a producer, put it that way. The Chernoff Archive. Iona Fernandez, Rickenbacker, 4001 clone. Absolutely amazing bass. Yeah, the old Fernandez were solid guitars. Cascade Explorer. Owen, where can we purchase your pickups when they go on sale? It will be on my website, on circleoftone.com. That's where it'll be. Rumi. Owen, I'm experimenting with the Helix Stomp, using it as a preamp into the FX return of my Friedman. What? Which has EL34s, which is good. It feels more responsive than just plugging the Helix direct. Any thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Because then you can really fine tune. I actually like, if I was using a Helix with a Friedman, because I know what they sound like, they're pretty high gain, relatively high gain for the Marshall sound, but the modded Marshall sound is what the Friedman's really, really all about. But I think if you can turn off all the cabs, all the shit, and just have it act as an EQ, I think the Helix EQ will be good. I've never used the Helix, but if they're like everything else, which has, graphic EQs and everything built in, I think the Friedman just needs a little bit of massaging in the frequencies of the low mids, because then it would be perfect. Ivy Scott Flower. I tried being an engineer too back in the day. The problem is dealing with musicians. Yeah. I think I'd actually be good at that part, All right, quick tune up, and then we'll start tweaking. G string on a Gibson style guitar. Who'd have think? Oh, and regarding my beaters, the Crate Electra, I always put a bone nut on there. I always put Grover tuners on there, and I actually, the bridge is kind of sharp, so I actually do the edges of what the fuck are they called? Bridge, I don't know. I forgot what they're called. but it always pokes up and pokes me, so I round them off on the edges. Hey, it's David Bowie. All right. So let's get tweaking. Let's get chuggalicious. I do want a little bit more gain. This would be good for, say, 4 layers of gain, but I do want a little bit more. That's the reverb. So now what I've got, I'm in a different mode. So you can see the mode. If I hold this, it'll go to, it's on these bottom ones right now. If I press and hold this, it'll go to the top ones. So you got the gain and all that type of stuff. So I got to hold this. Minimum gain. Don't want to put, I only want a smidge more gain. Let's get rid of the reverb temporarily. Oh shit. Dude. Goth Rocker 7. I want to report on the Blu-ray. Do your homework. Love these tone live streams. Nice guitar. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. He sent me a little package with some. We got some Cradle of Filth in there. We got some Failure. All right. Rich, I am going through, today is tweak time, so I'm going to try and make the first profile on here sound good. Thanks for the time, man. All right, so we got, I think I'm happy with that gain. Oh, and was the TONEX sent to you to try out or to try it yourself? I think some cool amp modes, some are bad, some are very bad. Yeah, I bought it. I was thinking of contacting them, but I want to go on my own speed, really. Because if they said, "Oh, we'll send you on if you do a video, this, that, and the other," I don't have time to dedicate to say, "Yeah, I can do it," because, like, put it this way: at the start of the stream, my daughter just walked straight into the room. So it's like that's where I'm at. Super dad. Hey, Carl. That's too much bass. I think more bass and more gain. Let's do everyone's favorites, the mids. Mids in trouble. You know what? I have a horrible feeling that everything on 5 is going to sound good. I hate it. It's kind of actually, I don't mind everything on 5 on the JCM 800, but Carl, how's it going, man? Cascade Explorer. Hey, Owen, hypothetical question. If you could have one amp and cab for playing metal, what would your choices be? I would have a 1980 vertical input GSM 800, 100 watt, and the cab it'd have to be the old one because the old transformers and the old capacitors and resistors. And I would have a mid-70s cab, so a green back, grey back, black back, the later black backs, that type of thing. But there's specific cones and stuff like that, so it's I can't remember the actual specific frequency and everything, but can't go wrong with that. No matter what black back, no matter what grey back you have, or cream back. I think I'm actually loading this. Actually, you can see it. I'm loading that with cream backs from the 70s. So that's going to be my forever cab. So yeah, JCM 800. The reason being, I actually like JCM 800 with a loop. I prefer that, so you can actually put delays and stuff in it. But I hate modern amps. You do lose a little tiny. The more you put in the circuit, it just has this little effect on it. You know, I don't know why. That's why Mesa Mark 5 sound like shit, because there's just too much going on. Let's put everything on 5. I think I'm gonna prefer it. When you're right, you're right. One thing VSTs and stuff like that can't do well is EQ. Especially adding. So what happened there was because I was up in certain things, up in the bass, maybe taking the gain down a little bit, and up in the mids, it kind of created the distortion that I wanted. Because when you push a JCM 800, you push the knobs up, you get a little bit more oomph. It's not just an EQ thing. So it is actually reacting like the amp. You tune real quick. Sorry. My guitar's retarded. This is the volume turned all the way down. How's that? Oh well, fuck it. Still cloudy. Maybe the presence can save us. Alright, so now I'm on alternative. I can mess with the presence. Maybe a bit too much presence, but that's an improvement. It's a bit spiky though, right? Compressor. Maybe the compressor will add, because I need a bit more gain, but when I turn the gain up, I don't like the quality, the sound of the gain. So maybe the compressor up in it would be like a little boost. Damn, it's pretty. It's compressor. Carl, remember in the OG Zoom box back in the day, the new stuff is basically, if you had two reverbs, we were freaking out. I remember it, the 9002. I had it. That's actually, if you listen to my 9 Inch Nails video, you can hear it. It still kicks ass, man. Turk V, do I know the Aaron Rash channel? It's mainly recreations of Nirvana tones. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good. David, I wonder how this would sound over a small PA system. I think it would sound alright. It always depended on the system. It's always dependent on the system. So I wouldn't freak out if I had to use this live. I'd be fine with it. This is a riff that I use to test the reaction, the presence of the pick. So now this is that's fucking nice, dude. Because usually this flubby and weird and woolly, and that is tight. Still low gain though. I need a fucking tube screamer. How do I set up a tube screamer on this? So it's just like a JCM 800. I'm always like, I just need that push. All right, depth. Let's have a crack on the depth. Can you hear the weight on the bottom? Now do the test. See? See the test? How good my test is? Way too much. Oof. That's how you have to have your little test riffs to separate the men from the boys. It's going to be another 5. You know, it's like not getting 1,000 miles away from the initial plugin, the initial, like, before I tweaked anything. A bit woody in the low end. I think maybe the reverb might be good. Let's try some reverb. Just listen to the low. Sometimes a little bit of reverb sounds alright. A lot of classic old modern metal, classic old metal and rock had plate reverb and the entire fucking album. And it helps that type of thing, where if you're doing single strings, the reverb will help thicken up the whole thing without really hearing it much. So I think that's all we can do. Let's try a little bit more gain. I'm just going to switch modes. So chat, does this sound good? Let me turn my mic off. How funny is that? It's like, let's do a tweak session. Everything on 5. Fuck my life. Kind of goes to prove that VST EQ fucking sucks. Or DSP. I don't think that's how you play it, right? That annoying sound is the gate kicking in and off. All right, so it's story time. A lot of these now, so here's my presets. I think every preset should have a asterisk next to it, or whatever, which says see reference 1. And then you go to reference 1 in the manual, and it's going to say this is standard tuned. This has got like 46 gauge strings. This has got 8K output pickups. And then you know where you are, because you could put a Parker Fly in front of this and it'll sound like absolute fucking dog shit. It's got high output pickups, it's got really thin neck, you know what I mean? And it's good for certain things. So it's like, I think that should be a part of, that's something vastly overlooked when it comes to presets, is what the fuck was used to start them off on, you know what I mean? Rumi, $5, how's it going, man? Can we talk about John Sykes' tone in Still of the Nights? 2 Mesa Coliseums in Marshall cabs. I've actually done a video on that. It was fucking terrible. But I should re-upload that. I should cut out all this terrible stuff. And then re-upload it. Yeah. I've done it. And I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what they used. But that tone, man. And the kicker is nobody even knew he played on it, because like Steve Vai, not Steve Vai, it was what the fuck? Vivian Campbell, right? That was in the video and everything. So everyone thought Vivian Campbell played it. Sykes got fucked, man. He got fucked. And in fact, I think the last time David Coverdale saw him, he was actually being chased by Sykes because he just got kicked out of the band before going on tour or whatever. And David Coverdale did him really dirty. And that is rock and roll. Bastards everywhere. Thanks for the 5, man. Yeah. Seymour Rumble. I got the B52 ATX 100 and Line 6 cab, 250 for both. Yep, that's a fucking deal, man. Yeah, and Vandenberg. Vandenberg is good for the eye, right? Funny thing is, speaking of Vivian Campbell, let me take my headphones off. I think we're done here with Tweaking. Just remind me to save it before we leave. Bear with me. Isn't this great where I have the JCM 800, like fiery beast, and you can't hear shit? Isn't that cool? Like, I'm so used to taking this off and I hear in the room that I'm with, because I got these things fucking breathing down my neck. I get it, man. I get the appeal of it, you know? So speaking of Vivian Campbell, this is the VC75 tall guy. We're getting closer. So if you saw the guitar that was in the video, it was I think it's called a Rand guitar, and you can see the extra frets and all that. It's a different color. It's not the kick-ass crackle that mine is, but there is a story behind this guitar. So it's basically Tokai trying to rip off the Rand guitar that Vivian Campbell used back on those videos. I think he was using it in the videos. So how fucking cool is this guitar, man? It was one of the worst days of my life when I got this. Let's have story time. Story time regarding this guitar. Come sit on Noel Gibbs's lap. So day 1, I'm 17 years old, and this is hanging up in the guitar store, and I fucking fall in love with it. I'm like, oh my god, look at that thing. It is so metal, it's so pointy. And I picked it up and played it, and I went, this is the best guitar in the shop. I have never heard anything so perfect in the hands, in the feel. And I couldn't really play that much. I just learned how to chug. But even then, I was like, holy shit. So I went up to the owner, and there was another guy there that I trusted, who was a cool guy. The owner was a bit shady. And he said, dude, that probably is, he wasn't selling me, right? Because he told me afterwards, he said, have you still got that Tokai? That thing was fucking amazing. And he said, that's probably the best guitar in here, because the Japanese know what they're doing. That's why we bought these because he knew what he was doing. So when they would go to these British expos to order new guitars, these were there, and they were like, holy shit, head and shoulders above. And now everybody knows the Tokais from the 80s. Now they're worth like $3,000, right? These, you can get these for 700 because nobody really knows about them. You can get these for about 1,000 if for a good one, you know. So these didn't appreciate as much as the Love Rocks out at the time. So I was 17. I couldn't fucking afford this thing. It was like 500 quid. So the owner said, how old are you? And I said, I'm 17. He said, no, you're 18. I went, no, I'm 17. I was born on Halloween. And he said, no, you're 18. Let's fill out some paperwork. They lied about my age, right? Because they had this credit thing, right? So I had a job at the time. I was working for West Glamorgan County Council. I was going to the West Glamorgan Institute for Higher Education as a trade. It was a trade school. And so I had income coming in. So I passed this is when credit was just available. Credit was just like a new thing. And so I got this lying to become, you know, like, so when the first payments came through, they let me have it without actually paying for it. So I get it. I pick it up. The West Glamorgan Institute for Higher Education is up this massive hill in a spooky old house in this like massive mansion, and it's the coolest, weirdest place, right? So I was so proud. I went to pick it up on my lunch break. So proud. Walked up to the West Glamorgan Institute for Higher Education, and I showed my guitar teacher, the decorative treatments teacher that was there. I said, look what I just fucking got. I just bought this. And he was like, oh my God, it's really cool. How much was that? I was like, oh, it's fucking, between you and me, it was a lot of money. So I said, can you keep this locked in your office? And he said, yeah, of course, man. And I lock it up in, I've got an extra room which is within my office, which I can lock as well. And then I'll give it to you at the end of the day. So I wanted to show, there were some metalheads in the class with me. I said I wanted to show them. So I went to the teacher and I said, can I grab that guitar? He said, yeah, sure. Come on in. It was gone. It had been stolen. And the teacher said, I think somebody was in here. The guy with the cleaner with a new guy, and I saw him running down the hill just now. So I go fucking pelting through the forest. It's on this house on the hill. It's like haunted hell. Old British fucking architecture. Beautiful place. I would want to buy that place in the future. So I'm fucking sprinting like a crazy person running through the forest. And I get down to the main road, which is the roads, the hills in fucking Swansea are insane. So I run all the way down to the bottom of the hill. I can't see anybody. So I am fucking devastated. 17, £500 in debt, guitar gone. Absolute fucking, you can't describe that kind of fucking crestfallen. You work so hard for this. I go back up. And I say, oh yeah, I can't find anyone that's gone. I guess I don't know what to do. And then the teacher handed me my guitar. They pulled a fucking prank on me. I picked up my guitar. I said, fuck you guys, and get him. And then we just went home. I was fucking furious. It was such a good joke that I have a good sense of humor, man. But I was like, I am emotionally drained. I need to go home to my mother because I'm a heavy metal rock and roll guy that's almost in fucking tears over this guitar. So that's how I got this. And I still have it today. Isn't that cool? Like the first main proper guitar that I've ever owned. I still have it. Like, was it 30 years later? It's more than that. Shit, dude. It's 33 years. Oh my God. So when it comes to me selling my stuff, that one's not going to be sold. Let's look at the chats. Chaticus. I'm going to need some drinks. Remind me to fucking save that. Save that preset. Let's do it now. We'll go to chat. All right. Google, how do you save patches? I'm going to try and wing it, all right? All right, it says hold and save. So I don't want to hold, I don't want to go over the patch that's there. So I'm going to hold and save, and hopefully it'll say turn to get to another. I know what's going to happen. We've all done this. I'm going to hold and save, and then I'm going to go to a different patch, and then I'm going to hold and save, and then I'm going to go back to the original one, which, you know, I'm basically going to lose it, aren't I? You're going to watch me losing it. Have you all done that, where you try and save your first patch and then it just fucking magically disappears because you didn't know how to scroll to a new blank fucking slate or whatever? Pray for me, chat. Let me check chat to see if people know already. Alright, so no saving comments in the chat. You ready for this shit? Alright. Hold and save. What could be easier? Preset. And back. Okay, I'm just going to hold to see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to change. Maybe if I twist this, it'll change the UK. Oh god, something happened. I don't want to change that. Alright. How do I change this? Is it this one? Let's see. Okay, so that one moves it. Now I guess this one will change it, right? So let's do UK 700 if I can. Alright. And then I'm going to hold and save. Nothing happened. I'm holding saving. Nothing's happening. Help. Should I hold and save this one? Let's try it. Fucking preset 5. Alright, what does that mean? Shit. Have I lost it? The fucking suspense is killing me. It's not going to be a big deal because I think I know how to get where I am. Everything I'm fucking practically on 5, but so I'm on the. Is this the original one now? Okay, so I did just change it, so I probably lost everything. Fuck. What does this mean? Alright, so I fucked everything up. Great. Let me see if it's the original thing which I started tweaking. So I don't think I've saved it to UK 700. I don't know where the patches are for user savings. If there's reverb, then we'll know. Yeah, it's gone. Fuck my life. God damn it. These fucking pieces of shit. I am winging it though, so I should have, looked at the manual, but who has time? Where's the UK 700? Well, chat. This, I should be in a room just playing with other people, right? I should be like practicing what I preach. Wasted all this fucking time on that. And where am I? Sweaty, fucking frustrated. I should look at the manual, but I never do. Alright, let's try and save. Let's see if we can figure out how to save shit. I'll change the reverb to full. Oops, that's gain. Put the gain on 1.3. Now let's try and save. UK 500. So how do you save it? Oh. Okay. Okay. Fuck. Okay, so I got confused on the the spots that I can save it. So we just lost all of our tweaks. Ah. All right. I think that's a perfect time to end the stream. I'm a dumbass. It's my fault because I even predicted what was going to happen. Because I've done it so many times. I predicted that flathead. I predicted exactly what I was going to do. That as soon as I moved it to where the presets would be saved, I just pressed one wrong button, and then all of it went back to the original fucking, because I moved out of the patch. I've done it 1,000 times before. Part of my charm is I never learn from mistakes, and I refuse to grow as a person. That builds character. Shit, dude. F's in the chat. Let's have a look. Dear Lou. God, Rocket 7, you will lose it. Yeah, I lost it. Alright, we'll catch up with chat. TONEX V. Oh, Goth Rocker 5. Happy I caught the screen. Rewind the video to see the settings. Yeah, I think I can. I think it's basically everything on 5, right? With the gain on 6 is pretty much where I was. I think I added a little bit of compression and a smidge, like 10% reverb. Yeah, and so pretty much I think thanks for the 5, by the way. I think the moral to the story is I was really happy with with the very first plug. I thought, oh, this is going to be fucking quality. But then it's pretty similar to, let's see where this stuff is, where I'm going to go off this and onto so this is the basic patch when you open up. If everything is on 5 with more reverb, then I'm kind of like, already, because I liked it, because it was what I would have tweaked. So let's see what's going on. So the gain is lower. So I did change the gain to be higher. So that's one thing. So there's one thing. The bass is on 1.6. Okay, so the bass was lower. Mids was little bit tweaked. Treble was a little bit tweaked. My volume was on 10. The volume was on 10 anyway. And let's see what's going on here. Reverb was 20%. I took that down to 10. This was more. There's a little bit more compression than what I had. Noise gate, I had that up high because I have a microphonic pickup. Presence, same. Depth was a little bit less. I think I had everything on 5 practically. So I think there's not a lot of wriggle room between my favorite tone and what I had. Mine had a little bit. Didn't I have the bass lower though? We can go through it, I guess. I can go through the video. Shit. Potato, basically I just tweaked, and then I tried to save the preset and lost everything I tweaked. The end. F's in the chat. Game was 5.8, so close to it. Yeah, I think I was on around close to 6. I think my bass was a little. I think it was less than 5, maybe on the bass. Maybe I can't remember. So honestly, I think if you just take the reverb down a bit, turn the gain up a little bit, and yeah, pretty much the compression, tweak the compression, and then you'll be where I'm at for what I liked. Abby Scotland Flower, glad to know I'm not the only one putting up with the preset voodoo curse. Hey, you're not a guitarist unless you fuck up your presets, right? And I even knew I knew I should have looked